Welcome back, everybody, to the VCT Game Changers Academy presented to you by Verizon. It's day one, group stages, and we're heading into round three. We just saw round two play out versus Zero Marksman White versus Solaire, and that was a 14-12 win over on Haven for Solaire. It was such a close game, you guys. And now, coming up next, we're going to have Linktik Kayo versus YFP Black in the last round of group stages. But before we get into that, I want to take you guys through the standings that we have for group stages so far, because it is just the top two teams within each group that will be moving on tomorrow. So as things stand at the moment in Group A, we have Dart Monkeys and Final Form taking the first two places. Group B is Computer Friends and Misfits Black. Then it's going to be Linktik Kayo and Meow Me's for Group C. Group D, Team Mystic Venus and FXP Blue. Group E, Tactical Tossers and Starfire. Starfire is actually tied with Villainous so far for that second place in Group E. Group F is going to be $5 Chili's gift card. And then Astoria and Invicta are currently tied. Then going on to Group G, that's Solaire. And then Zero Marksman White and Lotus are tied at the moment as well. And then the last group is going to be Stim Kittens and Team Opulence Black and Surprise are tied for that second spot. So going into the third round is the chance for these teams that are tied to take that lead and take that second spot within the group stage. So moving into the Linktik Kayo versus YFP Black matchup. Guys, what are you looking forward to seeing between these two teams?
First of all, a lot of the players for YFP Black, we have seen previously, some of them have been playing together for a while, and not any of them are strangers to the GCA scene. So I'm definitely excited to see them try their hand at trying to defeat some of these players that we have seen a lot in the pro scene. We've got Jazzykins coming out from C9, two members from Gen G, both Carly and Hannah. So all of these, titled players, and it's kind of an honor to play them and cast them, honestly. So I'm very, very excited for this matchup. I think Linktik Kayo, as we kind of talked about earlier, has an edge or a chance to dethrone our current champions of GCA.
And what about you, Mar?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's kind of interesting because this one kind of reminds me almost of our last one, where we had, Solaire, a returning team with some established names, and a newly signed team. Here we have YFP Black with, some names that we have seen before in a couple of places. But I mean, they're fighting a team that is essentially a combination of three other major teams, right? It is like, it's not quite like the dream team, in the sense that, like, it's not like all the star, it's not like Mel and stuff, but you have big names here, and I mean, they're all on this one team together. So I guess, like, on the one hand, it'll be fun to see how they play, like whether they've played together a lot, but I mean, it's not like C9 White itself is here playing, but I mean, you've got Gen G, you've got C9, it's just kind of a crazy team to see pop off here. So I really want to see where they go. Mostly because, like, is it just going to be these pro players are more comfortable? Is there going to be kind of like a weird puggy air to them? Or is it even going to be weird because maybe they don't play that much together? So I think it'll be funny. YFP Black going to be a much more cohesive team, I think, but fairly new. So we'll see kind of how they do as well. So, I mean, we've definitely, our three games for today have definitely been very interesting, right? We've got a lot of new names, we've got returning teams with new rosters, and then we've got, like, lots of other weird little things going on. So I'm curious to say, I don't know if I could predict a winner here. I think a lot of people might expect Linktik Kayo to win because of the names, but I don't think that's true. I don't think that's exactly what I expect to see happen.
Well, time will definitely tell. We're just about ready to get into the picks and bans between these two teams as well. But yeah, I mean, today the games have been so close. I think this might be even the closest and tightest group stage within GCA so far. And this being also the first time that we've opened it up to that 32 team bracket, it's definitely a complete treat to have. And I'm looking forward to seeing how playoffs will go through. But we're going to have to find out which map we're playing on here today between Linktik Kayo and YFP Black before we can get into that. So the first ban to come through is going to be Breeze, then Fracture, Haven, Bind, Split, and Icebox, and that leaves Ascent. And Linktik Kayo choosing to start on the defense. And Jojo, what are some agent compositions you'd like to see coming out here?
I think the biggest point of contest is the smoker. I mean, we've seen Asher being played, we've seen Omen, and Omen used to be played very, very often on this map, especially alongside that Sage, where you can wall up and then teleport on top. But Brim has started to come out of the woodwork as well, kind of figuring out his place in the meta. So I think these two teams are really going to have to figure out who they're comfortable playing with, and sometimes it is that comfort pick that's going to give you the best results.
The comfort picks can definitely give you the best results. We'll see what these teams end up yielding. And Maru, I mean, we talked about the fact that, Linktik Kayo could be this huggy team with these pro players who will shine both, but like individually, or maybe they have, some low-key synergy that we don't know about. And then YFP Black having more of that cohesiveness. So I mean, we're just about ready to head into Agent Select. I'll let you guys take it away. And Mario, I'd love to get your thoughts as we do that on maybe if you think Linktik Kayo will go for more of those individualistic agent picks, or if they will go for, a cohesive team composition.
See, I don't know. And the interesting thing about their composition, if you think about it, is that 3 of those players have history, right? I mean, they've played a little bit, but I mean, at the same time, we have 2 from Gen G, so I'm almost debating if they're going to be like the backbone, and then we're going to have like the C9
Right.
and CLG sort of like doing their own thing. But I don't know. Like on Ascent, especially, there's just so many singular things you expect to see. Of course, I'm actually pretty surprised if we can, before we go into anything else, I'm really surprised at how often we've seen Fade today. I was
Yeah.
expecting to see her maybe once. This is now our 3rd game in a row with Fade. And on terms of picks, it was okay, now we have double Fade. Yeah, I guess to answer Ash's question, I didn't expect to see a lot of like rogue solo play, but at the same time, we do have Chamber. We've got Omen. Jet would kind of fit that role. But yeah, look, the Gen G players actually didn't quite pick the combo I was expecting. I was thinking maybe like a duelist and a initiator off of them. But I mean, again, the argument of Chamber is Chamber, a duelist is still kind of fair. Meanwhile, in YFP Black, fairly similar composition. We're gonna have again double initiator. This time we have KO versus Breach and then 2 Fades. We do see Raze again and Chamber. Yeah, so I mean we've had what, Chamber in every game. We've had
Breach?
Fade, Breach.
A lot.
We did see Brimstone earlier. So yeah, I mean honestly, just kind of looking at my notes for a second, I'm shocked at how much Fade has actually impacted, I guess, the meta so far. Even when Chamber first came out, I don't think we saw Chamber that quickly, right? Chamber didn't arrive into comp play as fast. I think it took a while for people to get used to Chamber. Fade, though, I mean, I know it's new car smell, but at the same time, I'm really shocked. Actually, I really didn't think we'd see her all day. So we shall. And I mean, people have been doing really great work with her too. So I'm really pretty happy about that. I think that's exciting.
And we do always kind of see how agents are able to be learned either quickly or it takes a while to get used to their play style. Fade kind of is up in the air for me. I haven't played her that much. I think a lot of her abilities are confusing for me, just kind of hard to guide, especially that Prowler, but it seems like these players are picking her up really, really fast. And considering the fact that Riot hasn't really changed any of her abilities, they may consider her a little bit overpowered and not balanced to the game yet. So they're trying to take advantage of that as well.
Yeah, we shall see. And I mean, from what I know of Fade, which I have been working on trying to learn her just to kind of get a better sense of how she affects the game. Ascent is actually a fairly good map for her. I know that she has a lot of really unique spots. She can throw that orb to get vision. The orb is really interesting. If you're not familiar with kind of like how Fade works, it has a basically line of sight effect where if it's in the radius, it will spot you. But it has a fairly high verticality. So like if you put it on top of, say, the rampart there on A, it will see people. You can also do some interesting things with it over on mid. Geez, meanwhile, just pistols flying. Um, Only Hannah here left from Linktik Kayo to try to finish it out here as the plant comes out. But yeah, Fade's utility to spot people, it's not quite the same as Sova. It doesn't have the same distance. It doesn't travel as far, so you can't do like Viper lineups and stuff like you would expect. It doesn't even really work. Yeah, see like how it comes down there and gets spotted. Yep.
I thought that right click though would have destroyed it. I guess it maybe hadn't landed completely and wasn't able to be destroyed. But that is our first round going to YFP. We were not able to talk about how these two teams have been performing so far in the tournament, but YFP is 1-1. So they did drop one map so far, but the one that they won though was very, very decisive. I believe 13-2 or something was that scoreline. Linktik Kayo is undefeated at the moment in our group stage. So they're going to be fighting for undefeated going into tomorrow if they do end up making it. But either way, YFP on a bit of a force. Hannah being aggressive, already pushing out of garage here, and sees two, gets the first headshot, but Paige trading it out and actually collecting two more after trying to push down into mid. Sheriff does take one away, but the spray from Paige is too much, and that is a 4K for her.
Oh, that was a fairly dominant round from YFP Black. I'm kind of shocked by that one. I mean, they traded out two, and that was a really great peak from Linktik Kayo from Hannah, but it just wasn't enough. It was kind of funny. It looked like Mel kind of looked right at Hannah and then died, which is always unfortunate. But then Paige just popping off 3 kills and cleaning up. Look at this, Paige on the board with 6 kills. Kayosi at 3-0. So I mean, both of them, but I mean 6. The entirety of Linktik Kayo does not even have that many kills comparatively.
Yeah, it's definitely a brilliant round from Paige, but are they going to be able to repeat it or repeat something similar with the rest of their team? Looking like the aggression is angling over here towards A, but Hannah peeking out again, the aggressiveness doing her all of these favors, taking down Sango in the process. And now A maybe is going to be not the greatest idea coming out from YFP. They do have one player who is unable to help them attack site now. The grenade being dedicated at this point and actually collects the kill, evening out numbers for Mel. I always love to see grenade kills, but maybe not in that way. That looked very, very nasty. But here the rotate seems to be coming through. Spike making its way back towards mid. There's no players who are hiding Sub Rosa or are watching this location. 40 seconds on the clock. I don't know if they can get anywhere slow walking.
I mean, one of the things that I don't know if you noticed, but Mel tried to blast pack away, but that bind from Fade does not let you escape. If you're stuck in it, you cannot get out of it. So if you are stuck, and there, you see the verticality there, that is the strength of Fade, where you don't really expect it to see you, and places like that are so dangerous. It really does work, and look, that is a big difference. But I mean, sometimes just having a sheriff is a big difference. I don't think that there's going to be enough time to plant, so at the very least, they can collect this gun and run away. But that was a really good play there from Linktik Kayo to spot out with the Fade. Oh wow, the dash tries. Jazzikins can't.
Yeah, and even that final kill is going to do a little bit of damage to the economy of Linktik Kayo. I don't know if those players who died in that previous round are going to be able to afford guns. Light shields you can see on Hannah, a Spectre on Carly, and everyone else more or less able to buy, but still not considered a full buy. 2 ultimates ready on the side of YFP this early on. That Nightfall and the Rolling Thunder, both of them kind of attacking the same area. I wonder if they're going to be popped in the same round or even at the same time.
See, Hannah is, again, cheeky little kill at the beginning of the round, taking out Mel here. Meanwhile, they are going to start to push into garage. I figure may as well keep going, and Paige trying to fight on the site here. Whether it's going to work out for YFP Black, I don't know. That was a big round for Linktik Kayo to get in the last one, but we'll see here as Sango also following Paige out. Ooh, actually drops the gun to pick up the one drop. Oh, gotta get that. Never mind, throws it off the map. Okay.
That is a brilliant move. That is a decision you can take 2 more seconds to get the gun out of the hands of your enemy. Lots of trades happening, but Hannah, fearless again, peeking out and finally secures the 4K. Hannah's aggressiveness, her timing is so instrumental to her team. That is, I believe, the 3rd round in a row where she just had perfect timing on a peak. That headshot initially, we love to see it. And then maintaining the spray transfer and getting the 4K on the round. Absolutely beautiful. And now, I believe she's already popped the tour de force.
Yep. May as well activate it right at the start. No reason to hold on to it, right? So you've got that coming up your way. That's always a scary thing. We got dueling. Oh wait, not dueling. I'm sorry. I forgot that it plays once and then again when the round starts.
Yeah.
Jazzykins here trying to hold on to this corner of A here, but is gonna have to probably run away. Doesn't get spotted. Oh wow, Hannah with the double.
He still has dash active, but not for so long. Was able to use it at the last minute of that dash, but now is going to be attacked with all of this utility. Prowler coming through. It's actually YFP who is at the disadvantage here. All of this aggression from Linktik Kayo really working out for them. 50 seconds still to play with, but they're getting pinched very, very quickly. Tons of utility from the back. We're able to get 1 kill, but I don't know if they can do much more than that. Jazzykins says nope, pushes out, getting a 2K for herself.
Yeah, that was a gross double kill from Hannah with the tour de force. Just absolutely disgusting. Gets a kill and then through the collat, the wallbang or the body shot, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but gets 2 kills with that tour de force. Just absolutely tearing through people. I mean, that is really Chamber's strength. I know that, when Chamber first came out, we used to joke that his utility was a gun, but that's literally it, right? I mean, that gun is scary. And in the right hands, it's even scarier. So Hannah gotta be feeling great about that one. And again, though, JoJo, this timeout, take a look at the scoreboard. 3-2, another close one.
And YFP Black was kind of seeming to run away with it. They had some really, really good rounds in a row. And so I do support this timeout. They want to make sure that they're not letting the momentum completely shift in Linktik Kayo's direction. They are kind of getting run down a little bit. As you saw in that previous round, they got pinched. They didn't really know where to go after the failed attack onto A. So I'm hoping they're discussing new strategies, maybe a default, maybe some mid pressure. Hannah maybe is going to go over there and try to hold for the long angle with this operator, but if they can get the jump on her, that is a big gun that is just going to be left on the ground.
Yeah, I think that is going to be the bigger thing to keep an eye out for here. Is I'm really curious how they take advantage of this operator. Like, is Hannah just going to start converting the op into basically just having tour de force all the time? Are we going to see, the op demon here? Meanwhile, Sango now activating their own tour de force, trying to get something down. Puts down the teleport so they can get away if they need to. But they know someone's in that corner. And it actually destroys the teleporter, trapping them. Jazzykins picks up the kill as Sango tries to get away.
Very, very unfortunate there. Tour de Force had 0 impact. But look at this. There's 2 players that now have been spotted out in tiles, and the spray down does connect. One for Jenna and one for Kawhi. And YFP again stuck in a bad spot. Animal peeking that one out and securing the headshot onto Melia. There's not much they can do from Sub Rosa. They have to hit site again. 50 seconds left, but they are basically stuck. Not a lot of utility to work with. Able to use 1 smoke to knock off that sight line from Tree. But they do not have any idea where the remaining defenders are, and they are going to have to take their chances in mid.
Yeah, I guess they are going to have to fight their way, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, this is a very tight peek, and the first operator shot does go in favor of Hannah. Jenna left to plant and defend 1v3, throwing all of the utility she can at that backside.
Jenna, no.
Oh, no. So close. Animal collecting the kill onto Jenna. And Linktik Kayo 2 rounds up at this point. YFP falling behind their timeout. Not looking too good, and that's actually 4 in a row for the defenders, so their economy is looking absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, meanwhile, unfortunately, YFP's economy looking less wonderful as they are struggling here to figure out what to buy. We see a couple stingers, some sheriffs, Paige unsure what she wants to do here in terms of eco gun. I think a sheriff might be a better option than a stinger, at least in this circumstance. Blade Storm, though, from Jazzykins actually tries to dodge the flash, gets flashed and blinded anyway. Can't do anything, though. The sheriff shot takes him out from Kayo here, and now we have the rush going towards A. Carly trying to hold this angle, does get them all with that bind, though. He's going to hold them in place and decay them, stops them from really going anywhere. What a great position. Really just ends the momentum. And I mean, that's another interesting part about Fade's kit, is the ability to sort of stop momentum if you get that. Oh, Hannah.
No. Operator shot again, having
No.
big impact. I really hope they don't try to peek that again, Maru.
Jenna, please don't.
Maybe she's thinking, if I can teleport behind her, then no, not even worth it. You already, lost one. Don't want to give that again to the operator, the hungry operator. This rotate fully is going to be headed towards B. There's a lot of utility for Jenna here. I mean, she's got from the shadows some ability to get around the players of Linktik Kayo, but she has to work quickly. Blind does come out. 25 seconds left. Operator shot misses, but there's one player on site easily collecting one, but not any more than that. Spike is going to be able to be planted. But will it be secured? Operator quickly making its way out of sight. The wall bang does not get that kill. Still hunting. This is another shot, but it doesn't matter because Carly is there to secure it. Lana is going to get saved. And that is 3 guns being brought into the next one.
Yeah, it is nice to see a KO get saved every now and then. But
all right, looking like we're having some technical issues at this point. That round must have done something, Maru.
maybe it was like the combo, like if you think about it in terms of like when your Valorant client doesn't do too well, it's like the combo of like the singularity animation, the KO revive, everything else going on. I don't know, maybe Valo just had a moment there. But let's just talk about the game so far, right? It's been really strong in terms of getting both of these teams into where they want to be. And it's just another game of back and forth. That shot with the operator, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if that lip is wall bangable. I think it is, but it didn't seem like it went through because it seems either that or she moved a little, but it feels like that op shot could have connected, but I don't actually know if you can shoot.
Yeah. I'm like trying to think because most of these surfaces, you can wall bang the very corner of it. So she might have just been aiming a little bit too close to the actual than the corner of the lane to get the shot off. But yeah, you can like rotate a little bit on the spike, I guess, and maybe it was a chance encounter.
Just a little. That would have been a huge. Imagine, right? Just immediately right before the plant, you just get op shotted and go down. But definitely, like, yeah. Let's take a look at the replay here. Yeah, I think she just actually missed. I don't think it actually hit the wall. So I think it was just a miss. Didn't actually go through the wall. Just aimed a little bit too high. So that is the beauty of replay, right? Instant replay. But yeah, again, really great from both teams. I mean, YFP, I do feel have the ability to come back. Obviously, they're definitely not out of it. But I mean, we do see Linktik Kayo kind of coming alive. They've been very, very good at executing these retakes back onto, or I'm sorry, just executing in general. But because in some cases the attack has been what's mattered. Fade's utility, I think we're actually seeing more of Fade's utility playing a big role here than we did in previous games.
You talked about that bind early on, and I was kind of sad to see Linktik Kayo not take advantage of it. They got everyone, as you mentioned, when the round was happening, but no one peeked out and took those shots. And sometimes that utility is just for delaying the push, stopping the momentum. And that is what you need to do when you're playing defense. There's moments, Hannah's timing of peeking out and collecting these kills is really, really brilliant. And there's sometimes where you just have to play defense and just stay back.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think she gets a sound cue when she traps somebody, but I don't think I don't think there's like much other. So swinging onto it is kind of risky unless you know for sure. Look at this. Meanwhile, as we resume into action, the showstopper taking things at a heavy pace here. Getting this suddenly went from 5v5 to 3v3. I mean, again, Linktik Kayo 6-2. YFP Black do have room to make it a comeback here. It is one where they need to start taking these fights, though. They need to start winning them. Otherwise, the swap is going to be at a deficit. That's not a bad way to do it. And actually, only Animal left here for Linktik Kayo. So this is one of the better rounds for YFP Black that we've had so far. Even though they are at kind of the gun deficit, you know, versus things like operators, they are going to get the plant. They just have to defeat Animal now.
I have seen this position before for YFP Black, though. They are keeping numbers even throughout, but it's just that last minute, that last play that goes wrong for them. So I'm really thinking Animal can capitalize on this round and continue the win streak going for Linktik Kayo. The one headshot does come through, but it was a beautiful double swing from Jenna, able to get that sheriff shot, and it's a thrifty actually for YFP Black. So that round should have gone to Linktik Kayo, but in fact, YFP stole it.
Yeah, that was a good clutch round. I think YFP really need that, because again, it's not too late to tie it up, right? We can get 6-6 on the scoreline. I really don't want to see a 9-3, although I mean 9-3 on Ascent, you're basically asking for the comeback at that point. But for our third game of the day and our final to be a tied game at the midpoint would be kind of fitting for the day, I think. Look at this Jazzykins, though. Look at that, just immediately in the middle of basically attacker side of B. Gets a kill, Tango forced to run away. And look, this aggression is what's really carrying Linktik Kayo. They are just pushing into places that maybe they don't expect. And this could be the pro difference, but
wow.
I don't know. Sometimes it's just got to get the right shot right. Oh, that's a beautiful relocate from Jenna.
And she still has from the shadows. I don't know if she's going to be aware of all of this presence in mid on catwalk. She's currently getting pinched. The best play would be to teleport over to B, or at least fake TP 1v4. And it's going to peek this with the operator. And yep, you just cannot miss that shot, especially when you're Hannah, an operator menace. So beautiful, beautiful round from Linktik Kayo. They're guaranteed advantage going into the next half. We just have to see if YFP has any fight left in them. Looking like they were thinking about forcing going into this next one, but I think they have decided to buy for next. One Spectre able to be afforded, everyone else on pistols. Sheriff's one headshot is enough, but you have to have your aim on point.
Absolutely. I mean, that was really... We talked a little bit like, what is the difference going to be of having these players from teams like C9, Gen.G, you know, etc. What is that going to have as an effect? And I do think that we can see some of this like aggression, like Jazzykins relocating. I mean, look at this, just absolutely unafraid, dodging the blinds in certain ways. And I mean, that might be a big difference. So what will be interesting from here, I think, for Linktik Kayo in the rest of this series of games from group stage and etc. Into tomorrow perhaps, is just, does the ability to outplay individually matter versus solid team strategy? Because we've seen really good stuff from YFP Black, but they are getting a little overwhelmed here by some of the plays from Linktik Kayo. So maybe I'm curious to see how they perform on defense as we are getting close to the switch. I absolutely believe that YFP Black can make a comeback here if defense goes their way, but right now it's looking a little scary.
Not sure what the plan is at this point.
30 seconds left.
From YFP Black, they have focused the entire round over on A site, and no one has rotated off of it from Linktik Kayo. So this attack, which has to be perfect considering the time is ticking, is not going to be easy at all. One kill does go in Jenna's favor, but with 8 seconds left, I don't know if she has it. I think she does, though, just in the nick of time. She has 38 HP and has to hold this down against two full health players attempting to retake. I mean, this is a lot to ask from Jenna. She's got one smoke at this point, no teleports left, no paranoia, and take Kayo. This is right now looking like a good round for them. Oh,
Ooh, that was so close. Jenna almost with the ace. Beautiful plant. Yeah, she had the time. You need exactly 4 seconds. She had a little bit extra change, but unfortunately just couldn't survive the swing. Got the one kill. Couldn't get. So I mean, hey, we're looking at either 8-4 or 9-3, and I know we haven't had a 9-3 today, so 9-3 curse invoked now, maybe perhaps. I don't know. I feel like we haven't casters cursed anybody today, at least
no,
JoJo. So I feel good about that.
Not yet, Maro. There's still time, and we both cast tomorrow as well, so who knows what's going to happen. But look at all of these ultimates ready on the side of Linktik Kayo. I think if they're throwing everything they have into this round, which they absolutely should, Hannah on the operator yet again, they are going to be able to win this unless YFP changes something in this last round of the half. Another very slow round. The Haunt destroyed, unable to spot anything, but the players on the defense know that there's at least one player here who was able to destroy it. We've got a lurker
Yeah, I mean,
on the other side.
that's kind of the thing, right? If you destroy the haunt, then someone's there.
Right.
But again, that control of that haunt, that spot up there is not one that people are going to know very often. And I think that's something that you'll see a lot with Fade as players get more comfortable, is knowing those spots. Jazzykin's getting that kill onto Mel that immediately is going to force YFP back. Looks like they are going to have to reconsider again this A push. And Hannah waiting patiently. Meanwhile, Jazzy's just going for it, just absolutely chasing people down. Lana there to support their duelist. But Kaiwasi does manage to get the kill, doesn't pull it up, and we are JoJo 9-3.
Very, very unfortunate. I thought maybe Kawhi could have thrown out Rolling Thunder, but at the end of the day, they were getting pinched in that location. It just was not going to happen. But as you said, Maro, 9-3. That means that Linktik Kayo is just 4 rounds away from taking this map. So I think in that mindset, winning this pistol and winning the round after, they're basically at match point there. So I think it's going to be a big ask for YFP to kind of reconsolidate, calm down a little bit, and maintain their composure in this defensive half.
Yeah, I mean, YFP have a bit of a road to cover in order to catch up, but it is absolutely a road that they can go over, right? This is not a mountain yet. It's not insurmountable. That's not helping, but, you know, it's pistol round. Sometimes they got to shake those nerves off. But Jazzy is just really feeling it, I think, in this. I mean, honestly, the entirety of Linktik Kayo has been extremely aggressive. I mean, look at this. This is just scary. Actually, we have a flawless. Didn't even actually get the plant off. The plant, I don't think, actually landed. And we are now 10-3. And I don't know, maybe Linktik Kayo are looking to go home early on this one versus extending this to a longer, closer game.
It was even a double peak there from Sango and Jenna and Jazzy, just getting those headshots. And maybe it is those 1v1s that Linktik Kayo are always going to win. But when Linktik Kayo is winning 1v2s, that's where you have to ask YFP Black, like, what are you going to do about it? You have to be able to use your util to stop the site. Have to blind, use smokes, and this is a great start for them, but Paige swinging out with no support. Jazzy quickly getting that first kill. Spike gonna get planted very, very quickly here, and everyone is in their post-plant spots, ready for the retake from YFP to commence. Oh, 2
Mel
HP.
with 2 HP. Barely escapes too. Kind of almost got body blocked by the other teammates there. That's unfortunate. And now it is just Kaiwasi here left to try to do something. Throws out the blind. Actually could have, I think, gotten blinded Carly, not necessarily shot, but got Carly with the blind. And now they are back. Got you. Oh, nice. Oh, the repeak from Annie though gets them, and that is now 11-3. Oh, JoJo, this one's looking a little rough.
It is definitely looking a little rough. I'm a little worried for YFP. I don't think they can buy here because of their choice to force weapons on that previous round, and that means they either force as much as they can here, buying some shields, buying some more expensive pistols, or full saving and hoping that they can stop Linktik Kayo after they reach match point potentially in the next round. So I think everything is looking very, very dangerous for YFP Black. They need to be extremely careful and not get ran down by Linktik Kayo. Already mid being taken. All of this presence, the double attack on B site again, working out for Linktik Kayo. This spike is going to go down quickly, and YFP Black has to retake with basically pistols.
Yeah, I'm a little scared because Jazzy is kind of positioned to just pop out at people. And here we go, actually, with Lana. Actually, Jazzy goes down, gets kind of acts as bait, but it's rough. It is just Jenna against the world here, and we are now at match point, Jojo. This one went so wrong so fast for YFP Black.
And I wonder if maybe they are gonna take a pause. Yep, I was thinking that they were gonna take a timeout here. This is their last chance. They chose in that previous round to full save, buy as much as they could to purchase those rifles. But now this is their last chance. They have to make sure that they win. How many in a row? 9 in a row to force us into overtime. That is a massive, monumental task.
Yeah, you know, as much as I love a comeback story, my problem here is that you are down 12-3, which means you need to win 9 rounds in a row just to get to overtime. And I don't see that happening. The way that Linktik Kayo have been playing has been extremely aggressive, very dominant, clean aim. Everything has been going their way, and unfortunately for YFP Black, it's just not coming together. They're playing pretty well in some cases, and their team seems to be communicating, but it's just once they get hit with that aggression, like we saw from Lana and Jazzy, right, the double swing, it's just it all goes downhill from there. And I don't know, it's definitely a big enough difference to be noticeable in the sense that they are just running over this team here. If YFP Black can clutch a couple more rounds, maybe that would be, you know, maybe that's the victory. Try to get a couple more rounds out of this one. I mean, look, Jazzy's already on site, right? Jazzy has already cleared the entirety of lane and is now holding this angle, waiting. I mean, there we go. Just gets a kill through the smoke. The Blade Storm comes out, the style on him a little bit, maybe. I mean, that's a nice shot from Kaiwusi, though. I mean, that's a big one on Hannah. But look at Carly.
My gosh, all of this aggression. As soon as it works once, Mauro, they are just never going to stop. It's all down to Kawhi. This is match point. Do or die. Gets that second headshot of the round. The shots are hitting, but you have to secure these 1v1s and just cannot make it happen. Guys with Rolling Thunder in hand, but great game from both sides. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a one-sided match at the end there. Linktik Kayo, Hannah, I have to shout out Hannah. Beautiful operator shots. Perfect timing for some of these swings. I mean, half of these replays are of Hannah's shots.
Yeah, I mean, Hannah and Jazzy just really went off. It just absolutely went crazy. And it's a shame because when we talk about like closeness, right? We talk about like, oh, it's like 12-3. I mean, in the rounds, there were some really great plays, but score-wise, it's definitely linked to Kayo by a mile, right? That's the most decisive score we've had all day.
Ooh, that was like exactly what Mario said, the most decisive score that we've had all day. The other 2 games were so incredibly close, and I'm not gonna lie, okay, I did browse Twitter a little bit while you guys were casting, and I'm pretty sure Jazzy had actually asked her team if they could win quickly because she was getting hungry. And Carly tweeted that out and was like, yeah, you know what? We'll wrap this up. But yeah, so an insane game between Linktik Kayo and YFP Black. Linktik Kayo taking it 13-3. And I mean, Maru, what do you think that Linktik Kayo really did here on Ascent to allow them to have such a dominating lead against YFP?
It really is just the aggressiveness. If I could break it into like 3 things, I think it's comfort with being aggressive, use of utility, especially with Fade. I was surprised at how well they were using Fade.
Mm.
And then 3, it really just felt like aim. Like Jazzy would just get into a spot you wouldn't expect, take out 2 people and die, but she took 2 people out, right? And then Lana swings and gets a third, or Hannah gets 3. And it was just consistently good shooting, which will get you really far in Valorant. And I think it's just comfort, right? That aggressive comfort is really important because there are a lot of players and a lot of teams that struggle with you just running at them, right? I mean, Valorant, you hear a lot about like precise aim and placement, but I mean, Jazzy at one point flew from Cat all the way to B tiles and killed 2 people. The round had started, and the round had been going for like 2 seconds. That's a difference in comfort with your agent and what you can do.
I definitely agree with you there. Those are all really great points being made. And I was just wondering, I mean, we saw 3 rounds between 6 different teams today in the group stage of the round robin best 1 series for day 1 of the VCT Game Changers Academy. And Jojo, I'm going to ask you first, then Mara, you can follow up afterwards. But who would you say out of the matches that we saw on stream today was your pick for the either star player or the most impactful player?
Based on what we just saw, I am a huge fan now of Hannah. I feel like her positioning, her aggression, her fearlessness definitely changed the course of a lot of those rounds. And I mean, getting those 4Ks, getting those op shots, definitely her. But kind of thinking back to the first game that we watched today as well, even though they did lose a Kame with the judge play, you can't hate a judge raise. I have to concede that one. So one of those 2 players for sure.
I'm gonna go. So I feel like Linktik Kayo feels like the easy pick, but if I had to think back to the games that we saw, I'm actually gonna go with an odd one, maybe, and I'm gonna go back to the Solaire and Zero Marksman White game, and I think Leah on Breach was probably one of the more impactful players. Not only did she tend to have the most kills in terms of like getting a lot of them, but her impact on that match felt really important. She was kind of always in the right spot. She was really clutching up for her team, and her use of Breach's utility on Haven, I think, really did give them some of the benefit there. Solaire as a team played really well, and Zero Marksman White. Like, if I was to give second, I'd actually give it to Marina on Cypher. I think her Cypher was insane, and her play on Cypher was great. So the Linktik Kayo team as a whole, scary, very good. But if I had to pick my MVP, I'd probably go with Leah, because I feel like her play on Breach was really, really impactful.
I completely respect all of those choices. I mean, we saw some crazy plays today, right? The close games, the more dominant game. I mean, Jojo, well, I'm going to do a quick recap of, how today went overall. But before I do that, I was wondering, do you think Linktik Kayo could be the ones to unseat Dart Monkeys?
I've said it before, and I really believe after actually watching them play that it is completely possible. I mean, these players, even though they haven't been playing together for so long, they must be friends online. They retweet each other's things. They have this chemistry together already, and they're just transferring that very well to the actual game. So I think Dart Monkeys is going to be watching these VODs, seeing how these players are playing, and creating a plan in their heads, planning all the way ahead to finals on Sunday, because they're betting on themselves, I'm sure, as are Linktik Kayo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're going to have some more heated games coming up this weekend. This was, after all, only day 1. And I mean, Dart Monkeys, actually, just to touch on them really quickly, I believe went 3-0 within their group here. So, they're still on their hot streak so far. Time will tell. But this does conclude the first day of the Valorant VCT Game Changers Academy, presented to you guys by Verizon. It's the end of the 32-team bracket, so we've been cut down to half now. The top 2 teams of each group will be moving on to playoffs tomorrow. And if you guys want to check out, if the team that you're rooting for is going to be moving on. You guys can plug in !bracket in the chat just to see who's made it over to tomorrow. I'm not sure if every single game has concluded quite yet, so not all of the standings may be up, but I believe most of them are for most of the groups. So that's going to be the top 2 teams in each group, and they're competing again for a prize pool of $1,500 USD. And tomorrow we start in round 16, then going to round 8, then day 3 will be semifinals and finals. The rest of this will be a single elimination bracket throughout playoffs in best of 3 series. And I think we're just about ready to wrap things up. Maru, before we do you have any final thoughts on today's games?
Closer than I expected on almost all of them. The last game was a little bit obviously one-sided, so I can't say all 3, but the first 2 I was really shocked, and I'm really happy. It's one of those things where it's sad where you can't see every game, right? Because I would really love to see where Solaire and Zero Marksman Black are going to end up, where Misfits and revive me, Jet. My brain is starting to go through team names. At the same time, like you said, Dart Monkeys, I think, are the looming shadow, right? We didn't see them today on stream, but I think everyone kind of expects to see them tomorrow and Sunday. Whether it's going to be sort of the destined battle between the pro players of Linktik Kayo and the scrappy underdog amateur team of Dart Monkeys, I don't know. I think that's one story, right? But we'll see if they get there. We'll see what happens, because I think there's a couple of other really fun places for this to go. So exciting stuff so far. Really, really exciting. A lot of stuff that I didn't expect to see today. I'm really happy with how much we saw Fade.
Yeah, I think the Fade play is probably what surprised me the most. The fact that we saw Fade come out throughout all of the games today. But like you mentioned, we're going to see how the narrative continues to be driven throughout the next 2 days. Maybe it'll be the pro players versus the top free agent team within the FE scene currently. But tomorrow and on Sunday, you guys will be hosted here by Dr. Delta. Today was the only day that I was going to be covering for GCA this time around. So thank you guys so much for having me. As always, it's a pleasure to work with you guys, Maru and Jojo. And shout out to our backstage crew, that being Skittles, our observer, and Rose, our producer. You guys can plug !production in chat and !casters to check out their socials if you want to continue to follow them and the work that they do. And again, major thanks to obviously the Gallerants team and the tournament administrators going on today, and GG's to all of the teams that made it out through groups. And I'll catch you guys next time, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the Gallerants Game Changers Academy on both Saturday and Sunday at 12 p.m. PT.
play. Let's